The Trump tariffs have come and gone, but if you think Bitcoin volatility is finished, you would be incorrect, and incorrect in a really big way. In this video, we're going to talk about how, unfortunately, the worst is still likely yet to come, how we're probably going to fall back into the 70,000s, and no, that's not clickbait, and most importantly, how you can navigate this. Because guys, you can still make a ton of money in this market, but you need to have a plan and probably need to have a team behind you as well. We're going to talk about that all in this video. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name's Doc. Throughout the day, I'm a resident physician, and at night, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. We're going to get right into it. We've got a whole bunch of things to talk about. Bitcoin, it has been, to say it's been a wild ride would be an understatement. We are sitting back at 82,600 bucks, sitting right. This is on the daily chart. Guys, we have just been following this trend line down, and it really hasn't been a whole lot of fun, if I'm being honest with you. The Trump tariffs have come and gone. I'm filming this early Friday morning. The markets took a really, really big dip on Thursday, like a really, really big dip. And when I say the markets, I mostly mean the stock markets. Now, Bitcoin did not fall as much, which is reassuring in a lot of ways, especially because at this point in the market cycle, Bitcoin and the stock market are highly, highly tied together. Now, guys, I want you to stay to the end of the video because we're explicitly going to talk on how I think you should navigate this. And we called this big down bottom to a T, and we were able to take some money off the table. I probably increased the size of my bag like over 40% just by that one move alone. So stay to the end of the video. We're going to talk about that. So Bitcoin right now, it is putting in lower highs. I do think, surprise, surprise, I'm giving a little bit of the video away, but this is going to reverse at some point. But I do think there's some more pain to come. Interestingly, ETH has been really, really weak. If we just look at this chart on the weekly, I mean, this is a painful chart to watch. And if you think this is bad, like if you think this is a tough chart to look at, if we go ETH BTC, the ETH Bitcoin chart, ooh, not fun to look at. We have not been this low on a Bitcoin evaluation since COVID, right? Let that sink in. The ETH Bitcoin chart, i.e. Ethereum on Bitcoin, has not been this low since, gosh, it's tough to say, since COVID. Yeah, so really, really not fun. The other interesting thing is Bitcoin dominance continues to increase, right? It's at 62.9%. Guys, we hit 63 earlier. Benjamin Cohen thinks this could hit 64%. I would not be surprised if we got there, right? Would not be surprised if we got there. If we look at total 3, this is the entire crypto market minus Bitcoin and ETH. Some folks say this is a proxy for the altcoin market. It's been tough, right? It's been going down, and that's no surprise, seeing as the Bitcoin dominance chart, it just continues to go up, right? Continues to go up. One potentially reassuring thing is that we have, this is the total money supply, right? The M2 global money supply, and it's at an all-time high, right? We are continuing to creep up. Now, a lot of folks are showing, and I'm sure you've seen this on Twitter, that the money supply tends to be ahead of Bitcoin's price by a couple months. Now, this money supply has been spiking up. So hopefully Bitcoin can follow this and we can get a nice rally up. Okay, we're gonna look at crypto bubbles here. This is on the weekly chart, a sea of red, right? EOS is up, a couple others are up, but on the whole, the entire crypto market is down. So this is on the weekly chart. If we go to the daily chart, a little bit better, right? Atom's up, Hex is up, Grass is up. If we go with the hour chart, it's kind of a mixed page too. Now, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings here, but if we go to the monthly chart, lots of deep, deep red. EOS doing really, really well though. Okay, guys, if you guys thought Thursday was bad with all the stock markets going down, we have unemployment data that comes out tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern time. That's 7:30 Central time. If you're in Central like me, I'm in Texas. This is going to be big, right? This is going to be really, really important data. And I can tell you right now, not only will Bitcoin, but the entire stock market will react to this. So don't overcomplicate this. If the unemployment data comes out higher than expected tomorrow, the market's going to crash. right? It's not going to respond well. That would signal that we're in something called stagflation. And that's really bad, right? I'm just going to talk about that for a second. Stagflation is bad because inflation's high. The market's not going anywhere either, right? It's kind of capped. Well, normally the way that we bring the market up is we reduce interest rates. Well, in this case, if you're in a stagflation environment, you can't reduce interest rates like you normally would, because that will just make inflation worse, right? So everybody's going to be watching this, right? So tomorrow, unemployment data comes out 8:30 Eastern, but then after that, Fed Chair Powell is speaking a couple hours later. So that's going to be really, really important. And why do you think that's important? Because huge news outlets like CNBC, they're blasting this all over YouTube, Twitter. They're saying that JP Morgan is upping the recession odds to 60%. Guys, earlier in the year, this was in the 20s. So JP Morgan is saying, hey, recession odds up to 60%. Well, guess what? Polymarket, which is surprising, it's supposed to be unbiased, right? These are folks who are putting up their real hard-earned money. They're saying this is a 54% chance, which is the highest that it's ever been, right? The highest that it's ever been. And guys, this kind of makes sense when you look at the stock market, right? A red all the way down, right? Other than SMST, we'll talk about that later. Stay till the end of the video. The whole stock market got creamed today, right? NVIDIA was down 8%. QQQ over 5%. Meta, Facebook, I've actually been making big buys into this, down almost 9%, right? So people are scared of this recession fears, right? And I promise I'm going with this, guys. I'm going to tie this up all in a bow here. So we got some big news stories coming up, right? We just said tomorrow we have this unemployment data and Fed Chair Powell speaks. That's going to be interesting to see how that goes, because tomorrow is going to be volatile. Okay, so you think you might be out of the weeds? No, because next week we have both CPI inflation data and PPI inflation data. And guys, I don't say this to be bearish. I say this so that it's on your radar and you know what to expect. The tariffs that are in place are expected to be inflationary, right? The tariffs went into effect. They're now in effect. It's Friday morning. This could make inflation data come back hotter than expected. So we have to watch this. Okay, so then you're thinking, oh, Doc, well, we just got to get through CPI data. Wrong. We then have to get through, on April 30th, we have to get through the GDP, gross domestic product, for Q1, right? We're in April now. Q1 just ended, which is, right, obviously January, February, March. Well, on April 30th, the data, the GDP, comes out for Q1. And guess what? The Atlanta Fed, they're projecting like minus 3 point, I can't remember if it's 3.7 or 3.9%. Nonetheless, a negative number. And that would be really bad for markets. Doc, why would that be bad for markets? Let me tell you, I'm glad you asked. Well, a classic definition of a recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP or a 20% pullback in the stock market. Well, guess what? If we get negative GDP in Q1, we're halfway there to a recession. And here's another thing that I'll tell you. The other quote unquote classical definition of a recession is a 20% pullback in the S&P. Okay. So if we come down here and let's just look at the S&P for fun, right? Let's go here. SPY. We take a look at this. We're on the weekly chart. We've already had a pullback, right? And it's not like a small pullback either. We are down approximately 11, 12%, right? Depends where you draw it. So we're already on our way to being down 20%, right? So and a lot of these things, guys, this can be like a domino effect, right? Let's say we get bad unemployment data tomorrow. Okay, that would obviously spook the market. That would bring the S&P down, bringing us closer to 20%. Okay, well, let's say inflation data doesn't come back great. Well, obviously that's going to hurt the market. This right here, Q1 GDP, if this comes back negative, buckle up. It's not going to be good. I'd be willing to bet my bottom dollar that the market would go down if Q1 GDP is negative, right? And then the FOMC meeting is May 6th and 7th, right? Now this one, I can't tell you that this is going to be bad or good because it depends if Fed Chair Powell is hawkish or dovish, right? Is he bearish or bullish? So we got to watch. I'm not saying, this is really important. I'm not saying all of these things are going to be bad. What I am saying is these are all significant hurdles that we need to get over, okay? So I just laid out a thesis for a kind of a bearish outlook, right? We talked about how we got to get through unemployment data. We talked about how JP Morgan is saying recession odds are going up. That's reflected in poly markets. And then we're talking about all these like big economic data dates that are coming up that we also have to get through. Okay, so that's the bearish argument. There's a bullish side to this as well. So Anthony Pompliano says stocks and Bitcoin, yeah, it's likely going to be at an all-time high before the end of the year. And all of this noise that everyone's freaking out about, right? All the garbage that people are like spewing on YouTube and Twitter, it'll all be forgotten because guess what? Humans, we have short memories, right? When the good times are good, great. When the bad times are bad, great. But we can pivot pretty easily. So I hope he's right. I hope Anthony Pompliano's right. I'm a big fan. I read his book, would highly recommend How to Live an Extraordinary Life. Hopefully this is the case. Now you got to keep in mind, Pomp, he's kind of a permabull in a lot of ways, but nonetheless, I do tend to agree with him here. The other thing is, in the backgrounds, right behind the scenes, President Trump and his World Liberty Financial, they are stacking, right? They now hold over $500 million worth of Ethereum. Guys, that is wild. $500 million of Ethereum. Now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but guys, ETH is beaten down, right? ETH is beaten down. This could be a potential good buying opportunity, right? The number one question that I get is, Doc, what should I buy? Hey, do you like this coin? Do you not like that coin? I'll tell you what my plan is here in just a second. I'm going to be like very, very straightforward with it. And I think you're going to learn something out of it. I think it's going to be valuable. Okay. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the market right now. This is a great opportunity to trade. I've made probably close to $1,000 in the last week, just leverage trading. So if that's something that you're interested in, my link is going to be down below. You get a 10% bonus on first time deposits. Plus you get an extra 10 racks up to bonuses. This is a no KYC, no VPM leverage. And if you use my link down below, you get 40% trading fees. This is a way to help support my channel. They are a partner of my channel, right? So if you use the link, it helps me out. Great. Also down below is going to be my Discord, completely free. We have nothing to sell you. We are growing at an awesome rate. If you want to be in a group with like-minded individuals, check out my Discord link down below. It's completely free. Okay, we're going to talk about my thoughts on this. I made this video 2 days ago. And if you watched it, I talked about how Bitcoin could visit the 70,000s, right? I had some like silly comments on there. People's like, Bitcoin's not going to 70K. You clearly didn't watch the video because in the video I says we're going down to the 70,000s. Guys, we're almost there, right? We're sitting in the low 80s. I have a lot of thoughts about that, but nonetheless, this is me, InvestWithDoc.com. If you want to get to know me, how am I playing all of this? Well, the market right now, the worst is, I think, still yet to come, right? But that doesn't mean that you can't make money in this market. And here's how you can do that. Without question, okay? I'm going to say that again. Without question, the best way to make money in crypto, not earth-shattering, buy low, sell high, right? And a lot of times, folks in crypto, they are wanting to make moves every other second. Hey, I should be buying this. Should I be selling this? No, just buy low, sell high. Right now is a buying opportunity, right? If you have dry powder, and I understand that's not everyone, if you have dry powder, now is a time to DCA into the market. DCA into the market. Nobody's going to time the bottom. Nobody is going to time the bottom perfectly. Stop setting that as a false expectation for yourself. Okay. Slowly start to DCA in. Okay. ETH. We just looked at ETH price. It was a little under $1,800. Let me ask you, 6 months from now, when Ethereum is over $6,000, are you going to care if you bought ETH at 1775 or 1790 or 1820? No, you're not going to care because ETH is going to be multiples of where you're at, right? Same with SUI. When SUI's over $8 later this year, right? That's just my prediction. Are you going to be mad if you bought it at $2.10 or $2.30? No, you're not. DCA in. If it goes lower, take advantage of the lower prices. If it goes up, hey, you're up on your bag. It's literally that simple. People want to overcomplicate this. I've been fortunate to make multiple six figures in crypto this cycle, and it's by literally just doing simple things well, right? Don't over leverage trade, right? If you're going to do leverage trading, that is a way to make outsized returns. Do 3, 4, 5x, right? Unless it's like something that you're willing to lose. And the other thing is just like buy low, sell high. This is peak fear, right? Prices are low because everybody's panicking, right? This is the time that you want to buy. I can tell you right now, when I was buying Bitcoin in the teens, guys, it wasn't like, oh my God, I can't wait to buy this. Yeah, there was a little uncertainty with it, but I'm so glad that I did it, right? And I'm sure some people watching this, let me know down in the comments. Some people are like, oh my gosh, I was so happy to be buying in the teens because like you had a ton of conviction, right? Bitcoin is here to stay. Crypto is here to stay. There are so many ETFs. The president of the United States, arguably the most popular person in the world, is buying, holding, and doing business and promoting it, crypto, on the regular. Guys, that's not going to go away. So this is me ranting a little bit, but like the take home is like, I'm putting my psychiatrist hat on right now. That's what I do as a day job. Calm down, right? Chill out, relax. Yes, there is uncertainty. Everybody is experiencing it. But if you think the all-time high in Bitcoin is yet to come, these are great buying opportunities. Now, if you think the cycle's over, you probably haven't made it this far in the video, but if you think this cycle's over, yeah, don't buy now, right? I would say the overwhelming majority of people think that the bull market is still yet to come. So if you guys got any value out of this, hit the like button, comment down below where you think Bitcoin is going next, and consider liking and subscribing because it really, really helps me out and it's free for your boy. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video.